What's up, guys? It's me, Charlie, and in less than 24 hours, we'll be having the first event of our season called High Voltage Overdrive. And as you can see from the screen here, High Voltage Overdrive is the event mode for the season. It's not the only event mode. Just like the High Voltage mode, but with a twist, after 5 charge cards have been played, the unstable reactors explodes and changes the game in unpredictable ways. We still have no idea how this unstable reactor will actually work, so it is what it is, right? But I would think that, high voltage had been a very chilled out mode whereby you pick up those votes, those those votes, regardless of win or lose. It's more about completing those missions, which can be things like just playing cards, playing uh I have no idea what is a charge card, but previously it could be something very simple like play 2 cost card, play 5 cost cards, right? So I don't think this is going to be a very difficult event to complete per se, right? Based on previous high voltage events, as long as you complete, I think around 70% of the missions, you are good to go. Alright, so yeah, it's it should be a walk in the park as well this time round. But what is interesting to me is that the timing of this event, right? Because we know that we are going to have 2 events this season, High Voltage and Sanctum, and I think most people are actually, I, I wouldn't say most, I would say I'm pretty sure 99% of the players are actually excited about Sanctum because Sanctum allows you to, first of all, Sanctum offers more new cards for us to look forward to, and Sanctum offers us an opportunity to, you know, pull in to open portals and pull for cards that we don't have, right? For those who remember the previous Sanctum, I actually had a great pull. I actually managed to get Sam Wilson, Iron Patriot, Victoria Hand, although I did land on Kang as well, I believe. So a lot of people are looking forward to Sanctum. No, but putting high voltage first and then Sanctum later means there is a possibility that it actually kills the possibility of people trying to win conquest, right? Especially if you're free to play, because if you're free to play, you'll be putting your concentration, your attention on Sanctum so that you can get those free cards. So it's a bit clear to me why they are putting high voltage first. Yeah, I I have no idea why, right? If you want to be a conspiracy theorist, you can say that they want to limit how many free cards one can draw from Sanctum, but that's not the point of today's video. That's not the point of the channel. Alright. Well, having said that, I'm actually pretty excited for high voltage this time round because the card that is involved in high voltage is Kid Omega, right? And Kid Omega, if you were to ask me, I think I'm very excited about it because of 2 reasons, right? The first reason is that I think it's going to revitalize Nimrod. And to me, I'm a huge Nimrod fan. I actually used a Nimrod deck to Infinite once, right? And I think Nimrod is very, very underrated. Okay. And I think Kid Omega is gonna bring Nimrod to a whole different level. To me, the strongest part about Nimrod has always been how unpredictable it is. Alright, it's not just about the power that it brings to the board. Of course, that matters, right? It's about how unpredictable it is. Okay, because you do not know which is the lane that I'm gonna play Deathlock on, which is the lane that I'm gonna play Venom on, right? So the power distribution is kind of iffy. It's not something that you can predict. It's not, right? You can only predict that okay, there's going to be a lane that's going to be X amount, what another lane that's going to be Y amount, and the other lane is going to be Z amount, and but you have to account. You can't actually predict which is the lane that's whereby the most power is going to land and which lane you're going to pump, right? And I think Kid Omega is going to make that even more crazy, in addition to raising the power output of Nimrod decks. right? Because imagine you have Kid Omega down, and then you activate Kid Omega on the turn that you play Nimrod. Now you not only have one Nimrod on the board, right? You have two Nimrods, okay, right off the bat on turn 5 after playing Nimrod. Now if it's going to be so difficult to predict where the power is going to land, where the power is going to be mainly focused on with one Nimrod, imagine two Nimrods, right? Because right now you have two locations whereby you can play your Venom. You have two locations whereby that your power could be focused on, your power could be concentrated on, right? And if you ask me, that's just very wow. All right, and as someone who has played Nimrod extensively, I can tell you this is going to be a huge boost for Nimrod decks. All right, with Kid Omega, as soon as I get Kid Omega, I'm going to spend a lot of time. I'm going to whip out Nimrod again, right? Because this is really something that makes Nimrod very strong. Okay, because well, in the past, just imagine if you played something like Shuri, okay, or Symbiote Spider-Man, you make a big Nimrod and you destroy it, you make 2 copies of it immediately, right? That's big. That's just big, okay. And then on turn 6, you play something like a Deathlock, you play something like Venom. You're just going to have so many copies of Nimrod jumping around, okay, and that's crazy. The second reason why I'm excited about Kid Omega is because I think it's going to bring about a very interesting archetype, which is destroying cards with negative effects. Now, previously, the only way the only archetype, the only card we have to deal with negative effects is Sauron, right? And the dinosaur Sauron took a big hit, big nerf, alright, in my opinion, right? But Kid Omega is going to make such an archetype plausible, right? Imagine, you have Kid Omega and you play Starbrand and you blow it up. Well, you get a 310 anyway. Alright, get 10 power on that. Then anyway, right? Or you play Red Skull, alright, you still get a 514. Alright, it's just stack onto Kid Omega instead. Now, of course, some people will be saying that, hey, but yeah, sure, I get a 310, I get a 514, but Kid Omega is a 2-1, so that's a massive lag in terms of the tempo, right? You're getting a good play on the 310, that 514, but 2-1 is not a good play. Well, obviously that's not the only way to play. That's not the you have to have synergy, right? Which means that you need to have something like a null, a death, alright, to account for that destruction, right? But nonetheless, it's great. It's really great if you were to ask me. I mean, it opens up a new destroy archetype in that sense. Okay, maybe not an entirely new archetype, definitely not an entirely new archetype, but it opens up a new way of playing destroy, right? Whereby you feed such cards to to bring up your null. Okay, you feed this kind of cards to trigger death, right? And I think that's going to be very, very interesting, right? As opposed to your traditional methods, okay, whereby you are destroying the same Deadpool over and over again, stuff like that. This also works for Deadpool, alright? You just activate it, boom, you destroy Deadpool. Alright, so I do think that Kid Omega is going to shake up the destroy archetype. Potentially we could be looking at players feeding things like Starbrand, right? Maybe not Red Skull because that's a little bit cost heavy, but potentially could fit Starbrand, right? So I expect some experimentation there as well, right? Fit Starbrand, or I don't know, Crossbones, stuff like that, right? So I do think that maybe not Crossbone, maybe Cull Obsidian. Cull Obsidian would be an easier fit if you ask me, right? But I do think that Kid Omega is going to bring a lot of experimentation with the destroy archetype. It's definitely going to bring back Nimrod if you were to ask me, right? It's fantastic. Imagine having 2 copies of Nimrod to destroy on turn 6 instead of just 1. Having just 1 copy to destroy is already so powerful, right? So yeah. Yeah, as you can see, Deadpool, Nimrod, Fire Hair, yeah. Fire, it has synergy with Fire Hair as well, but uh I I think if you're trying to do a meal kind of thing, you may be going a little bit overboard. Surfer, not very sure. Not very sure if it's going to be fast enough. Yeah, plenty of stuff, right? No one's talking about the Sauron synergy. Yep, this is something that I spoke about. Right, so all in all, I'm very excited about Kid Omega. I think he's going to shake things up for the Destroy archetype. He's going to bring back Nimrod, and I'm always happy to play Nimrod. I'm always happy to play Nimrod. Right, so I'm excited about the Kid Omega. I think this new kid on the block is going to make some waves. He's going to be powerful. Don't be fooled by his pink appearance.